Well, welcome back, folks. So, wasn't feeling too well this morning, so I wasn't doing any recording and had a big sleep. Then I was my mom's friend was over, Melda. Shout out Melda, she brought me up this. So, I've never really been into this kind of stuff myself now, but I thought, what better way to go through it than with you, you know what I mean? So, do you know, like, astrology and all that, yeah? So, she's out to do my birth chart. So, I was born on the 4th of March 2001 at about 12 o'clock at night. So, you know, basically nearly the 3rd of March I was. So that makes no sense, but we're gonna go through this, right? So yeah, so what page do we start? This is where I go. So this one here now, what's this? So introduction. The following list, like the flash is kind of, you know, hard to read. Let me just get the flash on it. There we go. The following list of positions of planets and points in your natal chart with interpretations for key factors. Sorry. So people are like, what the fuck? So planet and points in the sign. So Sun in Pisces. 13 degree, I'm not even going to go into the latitudes and all that, it's not like that. So the sun in the chart shows our character, personal identity and ego. It represents our will to live and our creative life force. Just as the planets revolve around the sun in our solar system, we derive our life purpose from the sun in our natal charts. The sun is our adult, the part of us that senses our inner child, reasons things out and makes final decisions. The sun also gives clues to our overall vitality. The sun directs us and can be considered the boss of our chart, the boss man, yeah? When people ask you what your sign, Pisces would be our answer. Technically though, it's your sun sign that is Pisces. And you've made up, you are made up of many different sign combinations. Even so, your sun sign is highly influential and significant, and do you know what? Like, I'm not that bad at reading, yeah, it's just the flash is like, do you know what I mean? It's like reflecting off the page and it's actually making it hard to read. But that's alright, you know what I mean? We're going to get on with this. It might be showing flashes in my eyes, do you know what I mean? But come on, we're going to run on with this. So, right, as the 12th last sign on the zodiac, Pisces contains within itself a little experience of all the signs. This gives Pisces sons the incredible ability to identify with people from all walks of life, from all backgrounds in some way. Pisceans are not only changeable and adaptable, they have open minds and tremendous understanding. But Pisces itself is often misunderstood. Pisces signs may spend a good portion of their lives yearning for understanding. And the other part in a state of divine discontent, suffering is sometimes glamorized in the Piscean world. We can relate to that a little bit now, to be honest with you. Sun and Pisces people are sometimes pegged as wishy-washy, but this is all a matter of opinion. What you will find behind a vaguely directionless manner in a deep, sincere person with real dreams. Their dreams are more than getting that picket fence and making up the corporate ladder. Pisces are tuned into a higher purpose and their goals transcend the individual. A deep love for humanity and compassion that knows few bounds is found with this placement of the sun. So basically, yeah, like my name is Kean. That translates into the ancient one or the enduring one. So we're on the ball here so far, to be honest with you. Pisceans are not known to be cutthroat business types. Yeah, no, I don't have a business mind whatsoever. I'm an artist, man, I'm an artist. Nor are they given to throwing themselves out into the world in an aggressive manner unless their charts show strong indications of these tendencies. But make no mistake about it, Pisces can be extraordinarily successful when given a chance to express themselves. The arts, marketing, music, teaching, drama, healing arts, these are all fields in which Pisces can find expression. Their imagination, attunement to humanity, and remarkable intuition endow them with inviolable gifts of insight and creativity. So, like, I don't know, but like, does this mean like, my life is just like decided for me or something? Do you know what I mean? Do I have no free will? Pisces, in a sense, is a sensitive sign, both sensitive to criticism and sensitive to other feelings, easily touched by human suffering. At least in theory, Pisces wouldn't hurt a fly. They believe people are deeply hurt by compassionless human behaviour and have a hard time saying no. Harsh realities are avoided through escapist behaviour of self-delusion, but every now and again reality does raise its ugly head and hits Pisces over the head. This is a sad time indeed. Pisces retreats into their own world, self-pitying and giving pep talks to themselves. I will never trust again. Rest assured though that these periods are rather short-lived and even useful. Pisces seem to derive energy from their generally short bouts of self-pity. They come back stronger with spring in their step, ready to face the world again, and just if not more compassionate and trusting as they were before. Some might even wonder if Pisces find pleasure in suffering. Perhaps this is the case for a few, but most of the time Pisces pulls a lot of creative energy from sadness. Pisces is the poet or artist with an angst. Damn, because like, do you know what, that actually does relate to me a lot, because like, when I was in that kind of like that downward spiral, or in a sense now, when I do go into my bursts, it's usually very constructive, you know what I mean? Like when I do go to the deepest points of my thoughts and I'm in that kind of mindset and I'm I'm thinking that not the world. You know what I mean? You're going down that kind of that road. I usually learn a lot from that, and it's usually what puts me on the path where I start going up. You know what I mean? Now sometimes they'll repeat and it'll go down, but it's what I've noticed anyway over the last years. It's never been like, you know, and then like not come. It's been maybe a little bit like you know what I mean. It's been like a healthy graph, should I say? And I hope it's the same for yours, but that's basically how it's been going. Some find Pisces tendencies to be late for appointments, spaced out behaviour, absent-mindedness, amount of irresponsibility. Pisces would be shocked to know this, however. Who, me? Pisces is one that's irresponsible. Pisces sons absolutely care. Their love knows few bounds, but their retreats from ordinary life, whether they are simple as daydreams or actual departures, that they do seem to need are not always understandable to no nonsense signs such as Virgos or Aries. Yeah, I have a bit of that kind of thing. I'm a bit of a dreamer, you know what I mean? That's the kid that looked out the window, like the lack of concentration. But come here, I might have a lack of concentration and like the bullshit things, but I enjoy a lot of things, you know? So we're going on to the next page here. Is this one? I don't know how much I'm going to do with this. Could do a whole podcast here. Many Pisces seem almost allergic to things like shot. Did I already read that? Did I read that? Sorry. No, I didn't, sorry. I think I had a little glance over there. Many Pisces seem almost allergic to things like shoppiness, maps, directions and instructions, and for some brave souls, even watches. They prefer to feel their way through life than to follow a solid plan. Of course, Pisces with strong Capricorn, Aries or Saturn, for example, in their charts will appreciate a guide map at least. You are generous, kind, creative and peace-loving by nature. Your artistic sense is well developed. As a Pisces, you are wise, but you seem to retain a certain amount of innocence throughout life that keeps you vital and compassionate. This is because you believe in people, in life, in spirit, whatever it is you put your faith in. It keeps you vibrant. People appreciate you for your sense of humour, wordless understanding and innate kindness. I don't want to be kissing me on all, but yeah, that's basically me. Pisces vibes with Thursday is the number 3. The colours are aquamarine and a variation of blue and green. I do love green now, to be fair, and blue to be fair. It's you're on the ball. Opals and pearls, emerald, amethyst, silver, jewellery, and the yeah. So I don't like gold jewellery, I like silver jewellery. Your sun sign is modified by various factors, including the aspects it makes to other planets and points, its house position, the house with the sign. The sun rules Leo on its cusp on your Neptune and Jupiter sign since Right, that was a little tongue twister there. There's a lot of planets going on. So signs since Neptune and Jupiter are planetary rulers, these positions add more layers to the sun in Pisces interpretation. Pisces is a mutual water sign, more on Pisces. Right, so let me just check if this is still recording real quick. Yeah, we're 8 minutes in so far, so I hope you've been enjoying the show. If we might just keep cracking on, because I deleted a lot of stuff, so I have a lot of memory, so I feel like we can go here now. So Ascendant and Scorpio. The Ascendant defines in part the first impression we make on others in a personal rather than professional sense. It represents our physical appearance, our physical bodies and our overall health, and the body ego. It can be the mask or costume we wear to greet the world that reveals our natural and personal defence mechanisms that we use to adapt to and cope with our environment. The Ascendant also shows out our first impressions of the world around us and our expectations of same. Whether we are naturally hesitant or enthusiastic, for example, how we begin new projects and our attitude towards new experiences come under the rule of the Ascendant. Scorpio Ascendant people have a lot of presence. There's something about them that tells the world they are not to be pushed around. Their manner commands respect and in some cases fear. We are Scorpio Ascendant. You can be quiet or loud, but you always seem powerful and determined regardless of what's going on inside you. Yep. There's a bit of aura going on here now, folks. But where are we going here now? Sorry. Yeah, there you go. People either love or hate you. You're unlikely to go through life with notice. In fact, you might even find it confusing when you realise that you elicit such strong reactions from others. You seem to look right through people, seeing through superficiality. This could be quite intimidating to some and intriguing to others. Sounds about right, yeah. You know what I mean? Not everybody's gonna love you, not everybody's gonna hate you. You know what I mean? But who gives a fuck either way? Right, in your dealings with others, you perpetually and instinctively look for answers by reading between the lines. Surface details are often quickly discarded when it comes to feeling out of situation or people around you. You can amaze people with your ability to sum up a situation or individually very quickly and often very accurately. I think I get to the point when I'm making my points, to be fair, like it's, I don't know, you know, maybe as a learn that I haven't really spoken too much to the camera in a sense, like it's just kind of usually the funny wishy-washy stuff like they were saying there a bit, you know, but come here, I do think pretty deeply, I guess, you know, so If you want to hear about more about that, then let me know. Do you just want to get the entertainment, or do you want to get the deep shit? You know what I mean? You just let me know. But either way, when I crack on with this. As quickly as you assess a situation, you're not always as fast to begin, never venture, or to make delusions. This is usually because once you made a choice, you are... it's actually getting very hard to read this again. Right to the white spots, because the flash was right in my eye. Let me kind of move it back a little bit. Is that better? Is that better? I think it's a little bit better. But, yeah, so as fast to begin with new ventures, to make decisions, this is usually because once you've made a choice, you throw so much energy into it, and you need to be immediately sure of what you're starting. Yeah, you may value your privacy so much you can border on paranoia. You have a high need to control your environment, and you are an expert at strategy. You are very unlikely one to blow your chances with impatience. You tend to plan out your moves carefully and deliberately, relying on your remarkable ability to size up anything and anyone. Remember that, folks. As a child, you may have been typecast as the secret of one, and either as stoic or emotional, either extreme. If you over-identify with this image, it can be difficult to break out of when it could serve you well to do so. It can be tough for you to reveal that you are vulnerable, but you may need to do so from time to time, or you could feel very much alone at times. You may come across as critical or sarcastic. Certainly, your outer shell can be on the hard side. What's on the inside depends on the rest of your chart. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I probably would come off as a bit like of a hard shell. You know what I mean? But like, I have no problem talking to anyone about it. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you should suppress your feelings, but I don't think you should make a whole hula over it. You know what I mean? Some are deeper than others. Some in reality you're causing in your own brain, and you know you are, and it's just learning that way to just say I'm a fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean? But we get on with that. Where was it again? You are highly... Sorry, fucking getting hard to read this with a bleeding flash. You can be highly persuasive, hypnotic, and magnetic. You might hold a doubtful stand in what you want to know all about. I'm literally like... Maybe I should turn the flash off and we're down this 1 second. These folks for the little change up there, but like that flash was just in my eyes and it was reflecting off the page, so it was like the white dots were like literally going over where I was trying to read. So I don't know if my vision's fucked for life now, but we'll see. Where was I? Sorry, you can be highly persuasive, hypnotic, and magnetic. We heard that. You might hold a double standard in that you want to know all about someone you're with, but you're not always particularly forthcoming in your feelings, and sometimes your opinions can be extreme. You're not a middle of the road person. Yeah, I'd say that, yeah. Causing others discomfort isn't often a deterrent from doing, thinking, and expressing yourself. You'd rather live authentically than worry too much about surface harmony. It's kind of what I push on this channel, isn't it? Just fucking chase your fucking dreams, embrace your weirdness, and fuck everything else. You know what I mean, to put it lightly. So causing others discomfort isn't often a deterrent from doing blah blah blah. Yeah, you are not an individual who's easy to know. However, you often wonder why others misunderstood you, as you feel you are more genuine than most people. Indeed, you can never be described as superficial, even if you don't always have your cards on the table. Your manner is too intense for any of that. Yeah, I'm a pretty no bullshit kind of person, you know what I mean? But yeah, yeah, I don't know, maybe it is, but I probably always struggled with that, being misunderstood in a sense, but I don't know if I just didn't have the right conversations with people, or, do you know what I mean? Because I had so much shit to be going on in my brain. You're trying to have a bit of laugh at the lads or anything, you don't really get too much out of your brain, you know. But a lot lately I've been having a few philosophical chats with people and all, just met along the way or out on the road, and it's very freeing in a sense, you know what I mean? It's just, sometimes you just need to get out of your environment and you need to experience new things, meet new people and learn stuff from them, you know what I mean? Because you can learn off everyone, so always listen. Basically, so I'm nearly done here now. You might find that you're often drawn to down-to-earth, natural, sincere, simple or unaffected partners. Reliability in a partnership is also a strong draw. You don't start things easily and you don't let go of them easily. Either you may be one to look for complete commitment or honesty depending on your relationship approach, and you can have little patience for flighty partners. But yeah, just, you know what I mean? You just want to get on, you just want to have a happy life. That's all, you know? You know, that's the basis of it, isn't it? The conditions of Pluto and Mars, Scorpio's ruling planets by sign, house and aspect will give you further details about and modifications to all of these things. More on Scorpio rising. Right, now we've got a lot of pages here, as you can see, so I don't know if I'll go through the whole thing. But I might as well just keep going. You know what I mean? We can go fuck it. The moon in the signs reveals much about our habits, reactions and instincts. It shows how we express and deal with our emotions. Most obvious in our homes or in the private, our moon signs reveal our innermost needs. The moon can represent our experience of nurturing. It also shows how we nurture ourselves. It's important to note that moon signs change every 2 or 2.5 days, and on some days can be one of the 2 signs, in which case an accurate birth time is necessary. You were born when the moon was in Gemini, and this is an important placement in your natal chart. You are pleasant, witty and charming. People with moon in Gemini are always interesting people. They have a finger in every pie and are curious to a fault and are usually well informed. I like to consider myself well informed and a bit of a curiosity about the world. You know what I mean? I like learning new things and all different. Like look at me here now. I used to just kind of like, not that I never really gotten off, but I used to be just like, my mom be going on about her, just like, way about voodoo, witchcraft or whatever, you know what I mean? But come here, I'm sitting down here with my camera and I'm just reading it out and I'm going through it, witches, and I'm, you know what, I'm relating to a lot of what it's saying, so that's kind of giving me a bit more of an open mind to it, you know what I mean? So, and we title this like, you know, spastic goes over astrology or something, I don't know, but you know, it's basically what's happening here now. I consider myself a pretty intellectual person because I listen and I like to learn and I like to take things in. But at the same time, I'm smart enough to know I know nothing. That's why I can call myself a spastic sometimes, because I'm like, yeah, I really don't. I might know some things, but I don't know everything, you know what I mean? And every day is a learning lesson, you know what I mean? So that's the base of it. Right, so where was I there again? Sorry. Oh yeah. So nervousness and worry are common traits with this lunar position. An underlying restlessness and characteristic. And you seem to need more stimulation than others. You're likely to read a lot, talk a lot, and think a lot with this early mutual position of the moon. The sign of Gemini belongs to the air and mutual families of signs. At home and with family, you can be moody and irritable at sometimes. Yeah, it's not what, because I'm a very outgoing person. I'm a very I'd be a very optimistic person in a lot of senses, but you know what, maybe sometimes I can be a bit more moody when it's just me and my Mario, because this is my place of sanctuary where I'm deep and stuff at the most, so I might be not in a bad mood completely, but I'm just kind of, your brain's fried or whatever, so you can be a bit irritable at times, 100%. You all know yourselves. Your home may be a perpetual work in progress. You generally dislike housework since you prefer to socialise or keep your mind busy. You can be big on home improvement, reorganise your home in little ways, seems to keep you happy, as you can be easily bored by both routine and constancy. I'm actually having just can't read that for some reason. Just constancy. It's likely that this is a reflection of your inner world. The grass is always greener. Oh, what did happen there? The grass is always greener applies here. You may be more adept at handling the intellectual needs of others than emotional ones. Although you're competent all around, complicated emotions in general can be difficult for Leonard Geminis to handle, primarily because it takes some time for them to get over their heads. This doesn't mean that people with the moon in Gemini are less emotional. It merely means that they're more comfortable in the world of the mind. That's probably, yeah, I'd say I would come, like, I can probably come, I consider myself a very emotional person. I think deeply and I worry a lot and all that kind of stuff, but like I might come across a bit raw by some people because I can kind of take myself out of the issues and just think directly in it, you know what I mean? I can take the emotion out of the issues in a sense, you know what I mean? I'm very good at doing that. So that can come across as a bit roboty sometimes to people, you know what I mean? But I don't care, you know, I'm not going to let my emotions cloud the facts, you know? That's alright. I'm just having a little, you know what I mean, going through all the stuff with the folks, the star charts and all, just reading it out. It's been nice because, you know, it's given me a bit more of an open-mindedness to it and all that, you know, so.
It doesn't mean it's all true either.
No, but a lot of it has been on the ball, so to be honest with you. But, like, that's alright, you know what I mean? Where was I? Sorry, I was...
No, I get you the chicken.
Moon and Gemini people almost have a way with words. They are clever and witty and more often than not can be found chatting with others. They are sociable and friendly. They feel comfortable in crowds. Some pay too much attention to what everyone else is doing and consequently lose touch with what they genuinely want to do. More often than not, Lunar Geminis have 1,000,001 projects going. They're impressionable folk and their imaginations are boundless. Yeah, I'd consider myself clever and witty. And I definitely have a boundless imagination, I'd say. But with your Gemini moon, your openness to new ideas is admirable, although decisiveness and persistence take a blow as a result. Still, versatility and adaptability are some of the stronger traits of this position of the moon. Position of the moon. When irritable, you can become quickly snappy. Your moodiness is complicated.
I agree with that.
Usually, your moodiness is complicated. Usually, difficult behaviour stems from inner restlessness. As a Luna Gemini, you want to do it all, and you can have trouble sticking to any one project. In fact, you often have many projects going at once, and this is satisfying. Yeah, that's true. Of course, you can boil the kettle. It's no problem at all. Are you making a cup of tea?
Yeah.
I'd love a cup of tea. Thank you very much. And I'm going to pause this when I get back to you. So, you know what I mean, after the tea, so you don't have that going on in the background yet. Okay, and we are back, and we've got a little cup of tea as well. Right, back to unwinding Kane and his several star signs and stuff like that. Right, where are we again? Yeah, so you'll have variety and in fact thrive on it. Stay in the same holds no appeal to you. You're quick to adapt to changing circumstances, and if situations call for change of plans on the fly, you adjust more readily than others. You are very often a breath of fresh air. Fucking exact. Honestly, can I kiss this page? They're actually just licking me hard right now. But yeah, you just go with it. You know what I mean? It's the small things. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Oh shit, we need to change this thing right now. Let's do it. What else? What big effect is it gonna have on our life? You know what I mean? Just fuck all that shit. Fuck all that shit. You are highly observant and bright. People generally love to be around you. Your intelligence, resourcefulness, and wit stand out. You remain youthful and fun throughout life. I love to look in here, and I hope it stays the same. Mercury and Aquarius. What's your style of communication? How do you make decisions? How do you pick up, process, absorb, and exchange information? These questions are answered in part by Mercury's placement by sign in your natal chart. Someone may be an assertive Aries, but they could also have Mercury in Taurus with a style of communication that's slower, patient, and not quite as spirited as one would expect from an Aries. As an example, Mercury refines the sun sign, and it helps to define how we take in and give out information. Unconventional in self-expression, you enjoy breaking the rules, which are Mercury in Aquarius. You are not necessarily loud or flamboyant, but you can have a quiet way of steering others up. You might be very well delight in exposing what you deem biases in others' way of thinking, or simply enjoying surprising or shocking others. I don't know, I could consider myself loud and flamboyant in certain times. So, yeah, I don't know. I do enjoy breaking the rules, to be fair. I don't know, I'm a bit of a, you know what I mean, I do, to be honest with you, especially when there are a lot of bollocks, you know what I mean. But I don't consider myself, like when it says the ways of steering, I'm not that much of an instigator, am I? I don't know, hopefully not. But yeah, so very quick to contradict others and to offer a different perspective. You enjoy intellectual debates, you're objective and highly alert, and your powers of observation are particularly strong. You do usually win debates. In fact, you're very interested in scoring intellectual points, which can be maddening to others at times. Do you know what? I wouldn't even say I love a debate in a sense of like, oh, I'm winning this debate. It's more like, can I learn something from this? You know what I mean? I'm not, like, I don't know, maybe I just haven't had a chance to have a competitive debate, but it's usually debates don't be, you know, it's very rare I get a good one. Moving on, Aquarius is an air sign which is detached and intellectual by nature. It is also a fixed sign, so people born under Mercury in Aquarius often have an intellectual agenda. Some with this position have an apparent intellectual superiority complex and can intimidate others. I'm sorry if you feel that way, but well, I'm gonna get on either way. Fortunately though, most Mercury and Aquarius people make for a delightful company. You always have something interesting to say, and your perspective on issues can be delightfully unusual, quirky, and surprisingly insightful. You're quick to say I know, and the truth is your intuition is so powerful and your mind is so bright you often do. Amen, sister. Yeah, so maybe I'm a bit unusual, quirky, you know what I mean, and surprisingly insightful, but I love it. You may have unusual study habits. You're a bit resistant to following schedules, even if you have a Capricorn sun and perhaps particularly so a Pisces or Aquarius sun sign. Although you are often surprisingly organised, your sense of order may not be entirely apparent or understandable to others. I consider that, yeah, because I wouldn't consider myself unorganised, or like I do work bad with certain organisation. You know what I mean? I think if I believe it should be done in a different way, and it's not, I might be a bit stubborn in that sense. You know what I mean? I kind of do my own thing, but or have my own way of thinking, and some might not understand it. But that's just the way of life, isn't it? Like my unusual study habits. I wouldn't. I find my best way of studying is like visually when it comes to like, like the power of YouTube when you have someone speaking on a certain issue and they have a visual to go along with it. Say it's a cartoon or it's they've presentations or whatever. But if they can say in a fun storytelling way and they can really bring bring emotion into what they're saying. You know what I mean? Because not every bit of study has to be factual. Now but you give across the facts in like a way where it sprouts emotion from someone. You know what I mean? Or I'm getting put on pressure here. I don't know. You know what I mean? But yeah, basically what I was saying is I'm not there on tangent there, and I'm not there absolutely put myself off. Oh, I want need you, man. I want need you. You know what I mean? But yeah, just don't overthink stuff because I just overthought there and I just fucked it all up. But come here, we're gonna get on. Because what was I talking about before? When I got to that, blah blah blah, yeah, whatever. You may have when you study habits and schedules and all that. Yeah, maybe like it's just, I don't know, if it makes sense in my brain, then I'm happy. This is the basis of it. Right, next page. I think I'm just going to go through the whole thing. Might as well, you can click off if you aren't interested. If you are interested, we're going to keep going. You can be particularly attracted to scientific, technical and or metaphysical pursuits. Anything that promises progress and advancement for mankind has special appeal. Your sense of humour is well developed and unique. Practical jokes and anything that shocks and stirs up others is especially appreciated. I'm a bit of a joker, I just like having a laugh all the time. Yeah, and I wouldn't I definitely would have been into like science when I was younger. Like I loved I always loved planets and the thoughts of the stars and all that. Like I used to watch live streams of the fucking James Webb telescope. Not the James Webb, sorry. What's the new one again? I'm having a brain fart here. Honest to God, I'm overstimulated. But yeah, just that was when I was really young though. Like I didn't have much of an understanding at all. But it's just shit that interested me, When I got a bit the degenerate side of life kind of caught me then after that kind of that time of life. But we're going off topic here now. We're talking about star signs and shit. So, you're clever, spontaneous, independent and progressive in thought and also a little stubborn. You despise backward and biased thinking. You're loyal to the ideas up to a certain point, after which you see great value in updating your views as times change. In other words, you're not married to tradition, but you don't blindly attach yourself to new ways of thinking. Although cutting edge ideas do excite you, you're highly intuitive and quick to grasp even the most abstract concepts. Definitely a little bit stubborn in a sense, yeah. Independent, I feel like I don't know, I like doing things myself, you know what I mean? I just feel like when I'm in my own bubble and I work in that bubble, I work well with people, but I do like my own bubble in a sense. Now, too much of that is what was bad for me, because there was a time where I was just too much in my own head, and that wasn't good. So then you end up having these conversations with other people, or even if you haven't known to have these conversations with online, it's great because you just listen to the right people talking about the right things, and then you listen to it enough, some things start to resonate, So yeah, and then. Yeah, I do love thinking the mad bleeding concepts, to be fair. I don't know, I'm just obsessed with philosophy and shit like that, I enjoy it. How do you attract things, situations and people into your life? Venus rules our sentiments, what we value and the pleasure we take in life. Grace, charm and beauty are all ruled by Venus. Through Venus we learn about our tastes, preferences, artistic inclinations and what makes us happy. We look to Venus in the natal chart to see how we approach relationships of the heart as well as what gives us pleasure. We also turn to Venus to show how we spend our money, the types of gifts we buy, and how much we spend on leisure activities should I say. Not to mention the kinds of leisure activities we seek. Venus rules attractiveness, both the ability to attract and attraction to others and things. Venus rules amongst other things the arts, love and romance, beauty and a beautifying process, money, entertainment, leisure, sensuality and comfort. With Venus in Aries, you're straightforward in your romantic or social life. You flirt by being upfront, direct and even daring. You try to win others over by expressing how enterprising and independent you are. Your style of expressing love can be maddeningly me-centered, but the right person for you will find this approach charming. People often enjoy your aura of innocent charm, even when you are acting a little childish or impatient. Alright. Yeah. You're likely to have a fun-loving manner in love. You are turned on by energy and activity. Turn-offs include a relation that is considered stuffy or too mature. Vagueness and beating around the bush in love. You can be hopelessly addicted to the conquest. For a relationship to remain fresh and new, you require plenty of stimulation. You need to see some sparks flying. You're attracted to independent, dynamic people, or that's your own style when in pursuit of someone you want. Yeah, I don't have much history in the relationship aspect now, so I haven't really explored too much of this now, but you know, I've explored a little bit and a bit of it on the ball, to be honest with you. Pleasing you in love involves feeling your need for action. Others should be direct, open and honest with you, since you don't much like game playing or evasiveness unless it is in full spirit of fun. They do well to feed your need for spontaneity, appreciate your playfulness and understand your desire for relationship to remain new and fresh. Venus in Aries likes to take the lead in love, even if your sun sign is gentle. Pisces, you have many whims and you thrive on competition. I do like competition, to be fair. But I don't let it consume me anymore. You don't necessarily take control, but you do instinctively take the lead in matters of the heart. You don't quickly adapt to others' feelings, however, you can be demanding in love, addicted to the chase or the intense passions of the moment. You lose spontaneous expressions of affection and sexuality. You're enthusiastic and attractive and possess innocent and straightforward charm. You attract by being direct and not beating around the bush, preferring to get right to the point. Your attractions are quick and sometimes short-lived. You're ardent and often hard to resist. However, you can be a little blunt and abrupt at times. I'd say I can be like I kind of just speak my mind in a sense. You know what I mean? I do hold back on some things, but I'll just say how it is. You know what I mean? Say how I feel and say how it is. And I think it'd be better if everyone did, because then we wouldn't be second guessing. You know? So, sláinte. Venus in Aries, personal ad boyo. I have strong sense of adventure. I will win you over. I'm self-taught and self-sufficient. With money, you can be an impulse buyer. You're attracted to new and innovative products, but would do well to wait a few days before buying, because the desire can pass quite quickly. Art that appeals to you is bold and active in tone. I would be a bit of a, I don't know, just I have that kind of attitude about it. I've started to get that. I still stress a lot about money now, kind of attitude. I'm like, I make it and I spend it, and I'm just worried about deeper shit than that right now. So the money will come. Right now, I'm enjoying about having fun and learning. That's all I care about right now. What from what I've learned, I'm sure will turn into money in the future. If it does, great. If it doesn't, I'm sure I'm gonna be happy somehow either way. So we don't need to be worrying about that too much right now. I'm getting lost there. Oh yeah. And art that appeals to you is bold and active in tone. I like some weird shit, man. I like some weird shit. Mars in Sagittarius. We own Mars in Sagittarius. You have an independent, fiery, adventurous streak. Mars rules the ways. You assert yourself. Deal. Let me just make sure this is still recording. Imagine. Oh, I'd snap. I'd actually snap. Who do you... Where was it? Oh yeah, we are Mars in Sagittarius. You have an independent, fiery, adventurous streak. Mars rules the ways you assert yourself, deal with or express anger, and your style when pursuing your goals and desires. With Mars in Sagittarius, when you get angry, you may feel like running. You have to do something about it, but something else altogether. You may not have much patience to wait things out. This is where the restlessness and adventurous nature of Sagittarius comes in. As someone with this position of Mars, you might seriously consider physical activity as an excellent means of anger management. If you don't already, naturally do so. Well, yeah, like I'd say the kickboxing. Like I haven't been to the gym in a while to do the kickboxing, but I definitely have to go during the week. But yeah, that was kind of a thing about anger management. I'm pretty good at keeping myself calm. You know what I mean? I do have them outbursts like everyone does, but so we are able to. If I need to push something down, I'll take it out in the boxing bag. You know what I mean? And I take it out in the gym, or I take it out in a little home workout. Well, it's a good way of dealing with shit. So if you are struggling with ways to deal with stuff, give it a try. Keep losing myself. Yeah, people with Mars and Sagittarius generally have several projects going on at once. You're not known for your follow through. However, you start up new projects. Though with admirable gusto, your vision and optimism can get in the way of completing what you start. You want to do so much and you trash things too easily when a new idea takes hold. I wouldn't agree with that in too much sense. Like I would definitely. I'd say like. I do follow through, you know what I mean? Like if I come up with a project, I fucking do it. Like with the vlog, I said I do it every day, even if I have a shit day, I'll still do something. You know what I mean? I'll follow through. Now, maybe I didn't when I was younger, and maybe I've had to develop that, you know, but definitely now, I definitely do, and I don't doubt myself at all when it comes to that type of stuff, so I wouldn't agree with that now. Yeah, and then most of the time Mars in Sagittarius is playful and full loving. You love friendly debates, although you can go to extremes. You might take it personally when others don't agree with you. And true, your ideas are often brilliant, however you don't always have the patience to think everything through. Yet you're very passionate about what you believe in. Mars in Sagittarius loves to wing it. You may leave the nitpicky details to others. Similarly, you are not fond of rigidly following directions and instructions. You often prefer to generalise and see the big picture than to worry too much about the finer points. Yeah, I'd agree with that, to be honest with definitely agree with that. I wouldn't say I take that personally though. I'm pretty good at taking nothing personally. Like I actually couldn't give a fuck because I know I'm sure of how I think and I'm happy with how I think. So if someone has a problem with that, fair play to them. I feel bad for you. So yeah, where did I go? So yeah. So we're warm-blooded folk, but they sometimes run roughshod over others' feelings during their more passionate debates. Be blunt with people, although if you have a more tactful Mercury or Venus placement, this quality will be subdued. You love open-mindedness and good humour, but you're not usually patient when things get too intricate or serious. Some clumsiness is also possible with this position, since an ordered approach may seem a little too dull or dry. There are often times when you prefer to throw yourself into an endeavour and then sort things out as you go along. Seem to work best or happiest when allowed some freedom and spontaneity to intuit your way to your goals. So there's a lot there, to be honest with you. Yeah, we'll definitely. I don't know about running roughshod over a fit. Maybe I can. Yeah, so maybe I could be. You'll be blunt with people. I would be pretty blunt. Bit of James Blunt. Pretty James Blunt with people. Open-minded, good humour. Yeah. Patient when things get too intricate or serious. So I wouldn't agree there with you. We're not usually patient when things get too intricate or serious. So I probably would be the most patient of anyone I know when it comes to intricate or serious stuff. You know what I mean? I would consider myself like that now. But everything else definitely, yeah. I don't know if clumsiness would come into that kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe let me just read it. I don't want to be. I might just cut this part. I don't know. Probably no. I'll just keep going because yeah, no. I'm reading this out and I'm thinking, and then like I know I'm speaking and I should be telling you exactly what I'm thinking, but then when my brain starts going, it's hard to form it into words. This is actually good. I feel like I can actually speak now that when I'm reading this because I feel like I struggle to get. Sorry, I feel like I'm reflecting that into it. I can actually just see it reflecting of it. Well, what I was trying to say is I feel like I find it hard to convey my thoughts. You know what I mean? I just don't know if I have the vocabulary for it because I do in my brain. Now when I'm reading it, like there's loads of words here that like I have in my brain, but like when I'm trying to just talk to the camera, it's like I'm just going into me fucking, like there we go, I'm just going into me fucking, you know what I mean? I don't need to be speaking like that. I'm more educated than that and I know better than that. It's just natural to me, you know what I mean? It's just how I speak. And I'm trying to knock a lot of it out of me, but I'm not trying to lose who I am, but it's just it's where I grew up and it's how I speak and you know, it's what I'm used to. But I prefer to improve that as I go along, and I'm only 24, so I have a lot of years left to improve it, so we're getting there, you know what I mean, we're getting there. So, sorry. Yeah, and then we go, next page, we're going to keep going, let's see if it's still recording. Here folks, 7-8 minutes. Woohoo! 1 second, I'm just going to take a little pause break here, I'm going to check that I have the storage on, because I want to keep going. Okay, good news. We definitely have enough time to keep going through this, so I'm going to keep going through it. Cheers. Cheers, big ears. The sun placement of Mars can be a little hard to understand. Sometimes you seem to be the most easygoing of people. You love a good joke and a good time. Other times you're on a fire and intense and passionate about something or other. You abhor anything that fences you in. You need to feel like you have space. You may run away when things get too serious or dull, but you'll likely be back soon. It's just that you need to feel free for a while or you go batty. Batty boy. Yeah, no, pretty easy going, good joke, yeah. I wouldn't say I would run away when things get too serious or dull. Never been that type of person anyway. I don't know what going batty means. So you think I know about batty is now batty boy, so I don't know if it's calling me a batty boy or what's calling me, but we're gonna move on either way. When you argue, watch for picking up a moralistic stance. Your opinions are undoubtedly strong. More likely than not, however, you jump off your high horse sooner or later and get back to having fun. You stand up for yourself when necessary, but you certainly don't seek a fight. You put in honest effort into whatever you do, and you prefer that people are above board and straightforward as well. Yeah, it's pretty on the ball, yeah. Pretty on the ball. You're enterprising and courageous when inspired. Your brilliance is best displayed in bursts, since you may tire of what you're doing rather than quickly. In fact, perhaps the biggest weakness of this position is a lack of follow-through and continuity. You are a principled person when you seek the same trait in others. Yeah. Perhaps the biggest weakness is, I don't know. I've definitely, maybe there was a lack of follow through when I was younger, but I've definitely knocked that out in the last while, which is good. So don't take all this with a pinch of salt, folks. Like I'm agreeing with a lot of this, but that doesn't. I don't believe that I write who I am as a person. You know what I mean? But maybe some stuff I can agree with. You know, I'm not completely sold on it or anything like that. I'm not trying to push it on you either. I just said, my Mars friend brought this around to me. She's done it for me, and I said, fuck, I'll go through with the vlog, you know what I mean? And we'll just see what it has to say for itself. But yeah, it's pretty on the ball so far though, so it's a bit annoying. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, it's not really annoying because I don't know, I'm just shouting on here now. Let's continue, shall we? With Jupiter and Gemini, you attract the most fortune when you use your wit and ingeniousness or versatile. Right, let me read that again because I'm just being a stupid B word here now. You attract the most fortune when you use your wit and ingeniousness are versatile, sociable, curious, and put others at ease with your wit and genius are versatile. Sorry, just the way that was written, I wouldn't speak like that, so it just didn't make sense to me. Sociable, curious, and put others at ease with friendliness and sincere curiosity. You value the intellect and see opportunities to grow, succeed through intellectual, verbal, and written channels. You believe that intelligence and knowledge are the keys to solving problems. Yeah, 100%. Just how else do you figure shit out? As an air sign Jupiter, you are mentally adventurous, ready and willing to learn into mind expansion and less attached to your values than others because you are generally quite impartial and open-minded. You can see many sides to an argument. I agree with that. I could 100% believe, I don't know about 100%, I don't think I 100% believe in anything, to be honest with you, but I could 90% believe into something today, and then you could be speaking to me 3 weeks and I've completely changed my mindset on it because I've learned something new, you know what I mean? So I'm not stubborn. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, I'm very open-minded and I'm always willing to learn. So don't think shit. If I'm telling you something, don't take it that I'm 100% saying is right. You know what I mean? Think about it yourself and say, oh, does he make sense? No, he doesn't. Well, good. Maybe he'll learn. You know what I mean? So you value the intellect and see after. So saying that, yeah. As an air sign, Jupiter, mentally. Oh, sorry, I already read that. Duncan. Saturn and Taurus. So Saturn in our chart shows us where we limit ourselves due to fear or insecurity. With Saturn in Taurus, you fear of not having what you need, of loss, or of being dependent on others, may be more developed than most. And these things may end up limiting your opportunities if left unattended. Part of you could feel very guilty when you indulge yourself, and this can lead to problems such as binging, purging cycles. You might also have a hard time asking for help. When you feel insecure or vulnerable, you tend to cling tightly to what you have, and no sensitive areas of the body may be Taurus-ruled areas, including the neck and throat. Yeah, I don't like being dependent of others 100%. Feel like, yeah, to be fair, I've kind of gotten over it, but there was a bit of, since even the vlog, I felt guilty when I was just chilling. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, I need to be fucking doing something, but at the same time, you need a little bit of a break as well. Do you know what? I think I've gotten better at asking for help. I'd love to say that, and I'm probably wrong, but I hope I have. But yeah, I don't know what the neck and throat thing is. Some of your life lessons include allowing yourself to enjoy your winnings from time to time without feeling guilty or somehow wrong, in moderation of course, building the courage to ask for help when you need it without feeling you've failed, going without or giving away something you have, since this helps you teach yourself in small steps that you'll be just fine without, perhaps even stronger, and questioning your loyalty to the familiar if it is no longer serving you well. Yeah, there you go. That's basically it, isn't it? Oh yeah, I actually got a freak in here because there's no flash. I forgot to turn the flash off. This is all over the place, folks, but we're enjoying something new. I did say not so recently I'm on the experimental side of the of myself. I guess, I don't know, but let's keep going, baby. Uranus and Aquarius. You're most interested in making changes, innovating and updating traditions related to technology, friendship, community, liberty, individuality, kinship and fraternity. You seek more freedom in or through these areas and you don't feel the need to conform. You're ready to rebel if you need be. You can feel compelled to break through some of the inhibitions or taboos related to cooperating, connecting and interacting. Despite the need for progress, you can be very stubborn and set in your ways in these areas. You believe in openness to new ideas and free thought. All on the ball, I think. All on the ball. Neptune and Aquarius. Your vision of an ideal world may centre around humanitarianism, celebrating individuality, freedom and impartiality. You're interested in humanitarian ideals and you have a keen interest in electronic psychology and social science. When it comes down to it, you prefer to put your faith in humanity and you're generally open-minded regarding different philosophical or religious beliefs. Most important to you is for each person to stand out as uniquely individual. This Neptune sign position is more idealistic and theoretical than most others. Well, that's basically what that's exactly what I've been trying to preach this. Exactly. Stand out as a unique individual. Just be yourself, enjoy your things, you know what I mean? Don't let this cult or this form of opinion drag you down and be the only way you can think, you know what I mean? Be open to everything, because you learn, you might, it's like, I don't have it all figured out, you know what I mean? I'm only going off what I know, you know what I mean? So don't be looking to me, look to people smarter than me. But if you're watching this, I hope some things have resonated with you. I hope, maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. If only one of you have listened to me and thought, Jesus, you're right, thank God, and I'm glad, and I hope you can figure out exactly what you need to do. But we're going to keep rolling with this, because there's a lot to get through, and I don't want to be keeping this all day, even though I've been keeping this quite a long time. And if you're still watching, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for listening to my shite. I'm enjoying this. I hope you are enjoying along. So Pluto and Sagittarius. You take your beliefs and philosophy of life very seriously, more than most. You believe deeply in personal freedom, tolerance, and bringing cultures together. Uncovering the truth can be a mission. You tend to question beliefs and ideologies in place if you consider them limiting. And your quest to distinguish yourself through or bring reform to beliefs is so intense or pressured that you may rarely feel satisfied with your efforts in this area. You may want to watch for a tendency to move from one cause to the next or one project to another, perhaps as a result of this dissatisfaction or from inhuman expectations. However, your faith in humanity is strong and you are moved and motivated by a positive vision of a better world. Yeah, you know already by now I do like to get a bit philosophical, which is definitely, I would believe deeply in personal freedom, and I think everybody should have their own way of thinking and enjoy it and being able to be able to do that, you know what I mean? It's kind of extreme in the world as well, because like you also have all the noise pushing people against each other. Like, you're wrong, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm right. You can both be right and wrong, but there's no reason to be fucking absolutely screaming the face off each other's over it, you know what I mean? Just simmer down a little bit, and just think, alright, why do we feel this way? Most of the time, it's because you've been told to think that way. Just sit back for a minute and just think for yourself, you know what I mean? That's all you need to do. I'm not going to get too wishy-washy on it, like it was telling me I do, but that's basically the gist of it. So Chiron. It's not a Chiron anyway, it's a Chiron, I think. Chiron and Sagittarius. You have an intense craving for meaning and belief in something greater than yourself, and you champion free thinkers and encourage others to find their own personal philosophies. You believe in the power of positive thinking and manifestation. You help others to find their truth, to follow their inner guide, and to gain life experience. Still, you can often feel somewhat lost on these levels, and while you likely have many brilliant and original ideas about life's meaning and purpose, you might also hold a sense of disconnection with your ideas and beliefs, feeling some insecurity about them. Learning to trust in your unique vision of the world is empowering. So definitely I do. I'm always, but I've kind of tried to think more within lately and just kind of figure out my own things, because I feel like that's only going to be better for me thinking about other things more than that, you know what I mean? Right now I need to get myself to be the man that I need to be before I can worry about issues outside of me, you know? So it's kind of where I'm at the moment, but I definitely would have a deep belief in a lot of things, and I probably haven't talked about, and I don't want to talk about it right now, because I want to be more sure of myself as a man before I even delve into any of that stuff. I'm only learning at the moment, but there is some good that I'd like to put into the world in the future, you know? I'm not going to speak too much on that now, but, you know, hopefully one day I'm going to be the man that can do that. But, so moving on. Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius. You may have been made to feel ashamed or wrong for wanting to be a part of a group, team, or community, for being one of the crowd. You can feel quite wary of people who seem to need these things. The answer is not to reject these basic needs, and learning to accept this part of you can be life-changing. I don't know about being made to feel ashamed or wrong for wanting to be a part of a group. I've definitely felt like an outsider in a lot of groups growing up over the years, you know what I mean? And I still could, you know what I mean? But I still enjoy myself and around them type of people. I just might be, I don't know, I might feel like I'm disconnected from it. I'm not in a way where I feel like, oh, poor me. More just kind of, alright, I might be a little bit different here, but I can still, I don't know, do you know how people have a spirit animal? I don't know, I feel like mine might be a chameleon. I feel like I can just blend in anywhere and get on with anyone, do you know what I mean? But I don't know if I've proper connected with too many people deeply and proper had, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of just, yeah, I don't know, I'm still learning. I'm only 24, you know, so we're getting deep with this, and I like it because it's different. You know what I mean? It's different. I love different. I love learning. I love new shit. This is deadly. So North Node in Cancer. One theory behind the nodes of the moon: the North Node and the South Node suggests that we all come into this world with some underdeveloped and overdeveloped aspects of our character. The nodes of the moon point us to their specific qualities. The South Node represents our overdeveloped character traits that we automatically fall back upon. We're talented here, but if we overdo this area of life or hold onto these traits to feel secure, we may undermine our lives or prevent growth. On the other hand, the North Node suggests the qualities that we need to work on and develop to achieve inner balance, which are North Node of the moon in Cancer. Your South Node is in Capricorn. One second, let me just check if this is still there. Yeah. Because I can't see, and I don't want to be going through all of this and not recording, because that would be absolutely terrible. You may often seek to be in control, and you tend to take responsibilities too seriously. With this position of the North Node, you are excellent at getting things organised, but you should watch for a tendency to fall back on this talent, because if you do, you may become quite rigid or fearful of being dependent on others. Aim to let go of your tendency to overmanage your life and others' lives from time to time, and to relax your standards of perfection and achievement. When you're young, you may fall victim to living through the eyes of society instead of valuing your own personal as opposed to professional status achievements, but you grow out of this as you mature, and doing so improves your life considerably. Being dependent on others is a fear, but only when you realise some of your need to be in control will you achieve your goals more fully. Work on allowing yourself to be vulnerable, exposing some of your insecurities and personal needs without fear, and making more time for your home and your family life. By working on your inner foundation and base of operations, success will rebound back to your public and professional life. Learn to trust following your instincts instead of feeling driven by your ambitions, and you can achieve greater happiness, balance, fulfillment in all areas of life. That's exactly it. That's what I've been figuring out in the last 6 months. Let me read this again to you. You may often seek to be in control, and you tend to take responsibilities too seriously with this position of the North Node. Wait, no, that's not right. Wait, there was the part. 1 second. Right, sorry, I had to cut that there because I just went off. But yeah, so when you're young, you may fall victim to living through the eyes of society instead of valuing your own personal as opposed to professional status achievements. But you grow out of this as you mature, and doing so improves your life considerably. Being dependent on others is a fear, but only when you release some of your need to be in control will you achieve your goals more fully. Work on allowing yourself to be vulnerable, exposing some of your insecurities and personal needs without fear, and making more time for your home and family life. By working on your inner foundation and base of operations, success will rebound back to your public and professional life. Learn to trust following your instincts instead of feeling driven by your ambitions. You can achieve greater happiness, balance and fulfillment in all areas of life. That is exactly what I've learned over the last few while, because I was just worrying too much about ambition and where I needed to be, and I needed to be great salesman so I could be the best businessman so I can follow all my dreams. I actually had in my head that I needed to become the best salesman in the world so that I could even start making videos. I had to be a businessman and make all this money so I can have the free time to make videos. No, I just had to. But this is something I thought before, and then I was too stressed out and I had to press because there was just no purpose, and I put all this pressure on myself to have everything figured out when I didn't even have my own shit figured out. So then I started looking within, and I really figured it all out, and I found out what I yearned for. You know what I mean? What was my soul yearning for? And it was to be creative. I could start creating. So I just started trying to be creative in small little things, and then it snowballed effect into where we are right now. And it's only been the best thing to ever happen to me, so I hope you have the same. So I'm after reading it out twice there. That part right there, maybe it won't, maybe this is all set to, I don't know about all this astrology, maybe it's only set to me, maybe it won't work for you, but if you have the similar nodes or whatever, listen, because this helped me, and honest to God, it's been the best thing for me. Honest to God, I've great happiness, balance and fulfillment in my life because of this, because I start trusting my instincts, start being myself, not worrying about other people's opinions or what's going on in society. What does Keane want to do, what way does Keane want to think, and how is Keane going to go about it? And that's exactly where I found peace. And that's only leveled up every other aspect of my life, where I've better time with family now, better time with friends. Everything is leveled up because of me looking within, you know. So there's one for you. Part of fortune in Leo. Yep. Bring your personality, spirit and element of fun and creativity to what you do seems to be most fulfilling and successful for you. You find success and joy when you can entertain, share yourself, express generosity and warmth, and display self-assurance. You tend to take charge, the lead or centre stage in ventures that allow you the opportunity to do these things are often most fruitful. Fields that involve jewellery or adornment, play, self-expression, drama, sports and fashion can appeal and prosper. I definitely consider myself, yeah. I'm usually the one that wants to take charge. To be honest, yeah, I want to. That's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to like be more creative, have more fun, do stuff that I enjoy. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't take me away from being a hardworking person. I'd rather be hardworking and stuff I enjoy. Do you know what I mean? It's only where you're gonna find true fun, I guess, and true happiness is doing what you love. So, you know what I mean? Take with that what you want. I don't know. Just shouting on here now. It's a lot going on. So yeah, basically, I'm sharing myself. Yeah, I like talking to the camera and that is now. You know what I mean? It's very freeing in a sense, because it's like maybe I'd struggle to have conversations like this with people, and now I'm able to just have it with a camera, and people might listen and say some nice stuff. You know what I mean? And they might say some bad stuff, but come here, at least I said it. You know what I mean? Rather than just sitting there in my own brain. You know, so. Yeah, look to the sun, planetary ruler of Leo, for more clues to where and how you improve your lot in life. Vertex and Gemini doesn't say that. Midheaven in Virgo doesn't say that. And you seek to be orderly and efficient in your profession, and you prefer a tidy, humble image or reputation. People see you as quite put together, but you can be especially particular and somewhat nervous or inhibited in these areas, and sometimes come across as more aloof or critical than you actually are. You're service orientated with a strong work ethic. Definitely have a strong work ethic, but I definitely have the carefree kind of yeah, definitely have the carefreeness about me. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about that one, to be honest with you. But yeah, you have a strong sense of duty and you put a lot of thought and mental energy into your career. There's a perfectionist in you which can sometimes delay you and can lead to indecision or frequent change of direction. You seek to be correct and thorough. Yeah, definitely. There definitely is, and do you know what? I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself previously, but I've kind of gone away from that, and I feel like embracing the carefree kind of side of me actually puts me into a better workspace. I'm not, just because I'm being carefree in the office in a sense where I'm, you know what I mean, I'm being happier and I'm not stressing myself out. That's not me being, that's not my work, that's not taken away from my work ethic. I'm just working better. I'm after finding myself a bubble to work and work more efficient. You know what I mean? To where it's better rather than stressing myself out and then, you know what I mean, you're overthinking and none of that. Just straight in, do my job and enjoy doing it. It's only something better for me. So yeah, that's basically the way I went about that. You're not a person who requires too much. Let me just make sure it's still going. Oh, the bit of a fear. The fear. So you're not a person who requires too much in the way of recognition of or power over others. There can be times when you think or worry too much about your career, reputation, or life path. That's very, very true. You would benefit from steeling yourself up and avoiding letting feedback sway you too much from your path. You're not always comfortable in the limelight. Watch for taking on more than you share. You're talented at You're talented at analysis, hard work and genuine, humble and highly observant in your career, somewhat risk averse. You prefer to know every last detail before you make a big move. In my job, not too many big moves, but I do like to know everything, like even small things, like if a customer's name is foreign and it's hard to pronounce, I make sure I know how to pronounce it before I call. And like, there's also kind of aspect of it where you can use that as a playful thing. Go, oh, how do I pronounce that as well? You know, there's all other ways, but I like to kind of have a little bit of a gist. You know what I mean? I like even when it comes to like customers, like, you know, when you have a customer foreign, you might know something about their culture, because I'm interested in all sorts of cultures and all that. So it's nice to just know little small things like that. You know, just I don't know. All the information is good information, I think. Yeah. So. You may have received very different messages from your parents or caregivers, where one is more practical and rules oriented and another is more compassionate and emphasising emotional development. Yeah, definitely. Like my dad would be a bit more practical, a bit more like sergeant. You know what I mean? My dad was in the FCA, the youth army, ended up becoming a tradesman after, so he's pretty rule oriented in a sense where it's like, you know, it's taught me right from wrong and that kind of stuff, and you know, gave me a great work ethic. Learned a lot from him in that kind of sense. And then my ma, very emotionally intelligent, and I learned a lot from her. You know, she very wise, definitely very, very compassionate, overly compassionate sometimes, I should say. But yeah, that's pretty on the ball. So I don't know what kind of video is going on right here, but this is basically telling me my life story, and it came out of the internet. Or did it come out of the internet, or did it come up to the stars, did it come up with the moon? I don't know. Planets and points in the house. The sun in 4th house. The sun's house position modifies and refines its position by zodiac sign. With the sun in the 4th house of your birth chart, you invest a lot of your pride and energy into your personal and private life. Your home and your family, privacy is important to you. You're naturally protective of your family, including your heritage and personal life. Avoid defensiveness as you work to build a secure foundation for yourself and the people you love. You prioritise your emotions and personal life over more worldly concerns. You often think way ahead of others when considering the future. However, this sign placement of Mars can be a little hard to understand. Sometimes you seem to be the most easygoing of people. You love a good joke and a good time. Other times you're on a fire. And did I not already read that? I did read that. Why am I getting lost here? Wait 1 second. Oh, I went the wrong way. Sorry, it's the way it's printed out. All over the place, I think. So that was, Sun in 4th house. So, however, it can take a lot of energy and grumption to pull you out of your comfort zone. Let me just read that last part again, just so we're not going off track here again. The Sun's house position modifies and refines its position by zodiac sign. With the Sun in the 4th house of your birth chart, you invest a lot of pride and energy into your personal and private life. Your home and your family, privacy is important to you. You are naturally protective of your family, including your heritage and your personal life. Avoid defensiveness as you work to build a secure foundation for yourself and the people you love. You prioritise your emotions and personal life over more worldly concerns. You often think way ahead of others when considering the future. However, it can take a lot of energy and gumption to pull you out of your comfort zone. You may take longer than others to feel confident and secure in life, but you do get there. In fact, this position is often associated with people who come into their own and who are exceptionally prosperous in later years. You tend to require a lot of alone, private time, and emotional space to group and center yourself. I think I'm at the fast tracking that kind of part of my life, because I had the crash. And after the crash, I had a head injury, and then I had to sit with myself. I was off work for months, and my brain was mush, and I was really looking within. You know what I mean? I learned a lot, and learned a lot more on the year or two after that. But I think that was the start of it. Definitely, that put me on the point where I've definitely learned to be confident in myself now. You know what I mean? It took a while, but we got there, baby. And then other than that, so I would definitely this is, where was I again? Yeah, sorry. I definitely have a lot of pride and energy into my personal and private life, and when it comes to family, definitely very protective of it. Definitely heritage as well. So I love using all my name. I love using even the confirmation and the baptism name. You know what I mean? I just love using all of it. And my 2 surnames, because it's like when I was younger, I felt like McDonough was gonna have a bad effect on me, because I was worried about what other people thought, because you hear all this shit with people moaning, giving out about travellers and all, because it's a traveller surname and all. I thought they were going to be prejudiced against me, which is a lot of bollocks, because nobody should ever have any prejudice against someone because they're fucking named. Do you know what I mean? It's a blow of bollocks. So I use Malone. Keith Malone is a bit nicer of a ring to it. Keith Malone, my mother's name was Malone. My dad's name is McDonough, so I'm Kane McDonough. But I like using both. I like using McDonough and Malone. I love both of them together. I love honouring both families. You know what I mean? It's very, very big family oriented person. But yeah, it was just stupid ideas. Now we wear McDonough with pride and passion. And I hope every traveller does as well, and every other person that has that. And that doesn't just go with McDonough, that goes for every name. Wear a name of pride, because people have died and lived and done everything for you to carry that name. So honour it. Right? We're getting off topic here now, so Moon in 8th house. Let me just make sure that's important. It went low power mode, but we're still recording, so we're alright. We're gone 24 minutes since, so I don't want to keep it too long. How much more do I have to read? Sorry. So I have this, and I have that, and I have this, I have that, I have that. Alright, we've got a lot more to go, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to jot this down. We're going to end this here. So, Moon in 8th house. We're going to go back through this. It's going to be a part 2, because I'm not going to make this a big 4-hour thing right away. So I'll get back into this tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed it. This was something different. We're going through it, but we're going to go through it more tomorrow. That was a bit of crack, honest to God. Able to learn, hopefully you've learned a bit about me. Maybe, you know what I mean? It's definitely, a lot of it's on the Balkan. It's just so, it's definitely worth having a bit more of an open mindedness to it. I was definitely, when my mum was going to star signs when I was younger, I thought, she might go away with that, that's all voodoo, witchcraft or whatever nonsense was going on. But like I usually just, I don't know, I have a bit of a weird sense of humour. It's like I'll get a bit dramatic when I'm saying stuff, do you know what I mean? Like I'll just throw something out, like I'll just be like, oh yeah, that's just fucking terrorist, that's just terrorism there. Do you know what I mean? If it's something small, I'm just like, yeah, you're just being a terrorist. But it's just my humour, it's just stupid, you know what I mean? Like, if you do witchcraft, that's what I'd say, but like, I'm not being serious, I'm just being playful, you know what I mean? I'm only taking the piss. So, yeah, so that's been a lot. So, I'm going to clock it off there. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you very much to listen to all my shit. If you've got this far, I hope you've enjoyed. Something different, we're going to get back to it, because there's a lot more pages to go through, and I had a lot of fun doing it, so, something different. You know what I mean? We try new things on this channel. It's not always going to be the same. You're always going to get something different, you know what I mean? So, I hope you enjoy my crazy life. Because I do too. Remember to chase your fucking dreams, yeah? Good night.